Evening. Looks like there ain't many of us at the minute. I think it's just myself and the one viewer. So I'm guessing people haven't been getting notification. But yeah. So, this is obviously a PlayStation 3. It's in good nick by the look of it. I don't think it had ever been opened before, so that's good news. And what we're going to do is we're going to solder some test leads down, and we're going to diagnose the SYSCON. And we're going to do that using this doohickey here. And this is a serial UART TTL read and write device. And that should be able to get us whatever error codes this PlayStation 3's log. So, as I say, we need to do a little bit of soldering. We need to solder to a couple of test points on this board. Yeah, so I guess we get started. Assuming I can stop running over everything with my chair. Let's get some light on there. And let's make sure I get to solder these to the correct points. So. I'll be needing this handy dandy magnification device. Just get things into view a bit better. Let's see if we can get things focused a bit. I know it's blurry right now. How's that looking on the camera? No focus. Okay. Alright. Let's fix that. Alright, I think we need to come down a little bit more. Okay. Right. Okay, I think we got focus. Let's see if my eyes can see it. Right, no, that's blurry. Hang on. Too blurry. See, there's always something. There we go. Perfect. If you say so, Harvey. Right, okay, so the pinouts on this then, what are those pinouts? We need the TX, RX, diag line. Diag needs to be bridged to the ground, so we can do that. Assuming I can find that wire that I just stripped prior to the stream, I can. And there we are. Okay. So. These are the diagnostic points on the board. So apparently this one needs to go to ground. So what I'm going to do is just solder that to the outside ring on the board. That should do. You probably can't see this actually, but doesn't matter. There we go. And we come back. So what we need to do now is solder on some diagnostic leads. So let's get this one on. There we go. That should do the job. Hey RW, welcome, welcome. Good to have you along. So there we go, that's the TX and RX lines for the UART reader on. Now if we come over here, just maybe, there we go. There's my ground point. I know the focus isn't good, I'll sort that in just a second. I'm only soldering one wire anyway. Massive ground plane, it's hard to melt the solder. There we go, good enough. Right, so in theory that should be all the wires we need to start diagnosing this PlayStation. So if I move the microscope out of the way. Oh, is the coder streaming, is he? I didn't see he was. Never mind. Anyway, let's get that out of the way. And we'll kill that while we're at it. So, what we need to do now is plug in the TX, RX and ground onto the TX, RX and ground on this. So we need this to ground, like so. We need to hook up RX to RX, which I believe is this one, and it looks like it's detecting something, which is interesting because there's no power yet. Come on. There we go. And I believe that this... Did I wire that up right? RX to RX. RX is the bottom one. Yeah, okay. And this one is TX. There we go. So that should do the job there. Now we do need to give this thing power. So... let's give it power now. I'm going to put the power supply on, but I just want to make sure that I've shielded the board against any stupidity. So let's just use this convenient Asda sandwich bag. We'll get the power supply on. And that should prevent us from shorting this to anything, and while I'm at it I'm going to eat this Lindor that was gifted to me by Mr. RB King because he's amazing. Delicious. Right, let's get the power plugged in. Now you can see at the bottom left there we have got a handy dandy program running. Just make sure I'm not short on anything weird. There we go. Now, I believe is that everything? We hooked up. Well, okay. Let's see then. let's see if we get anything from this chip. I've never done this before, so it'll be interesting. Let's see what we get. Ground lights lit up. I've got a red light. Let me if I try now. Auth1 response is invalid. Now that's interesting. Invalid. Maybe I have selected the wrong SYSCON chip. So we get a flash on TX. Program error. Oh, interesting. Okay. Try that again. I'm just clicking like a madman now. Ooh, nice RW, nice. Sega Nomad, good choice. Let's see if this is. Does this even want to work? Let's see if it's the other SYSCON chip. Alright. Failed to communicate to COM. Yeah, sure, whatever. Right, let's just double check that COM port. It is COM port 3. Okay. Bear with me. So. Right, let's see if it's the SW then. COM 3. Start. Waiting for system auth. Auth. We got a. This is interesting, isn't it? Huh. Okay. What? Nomad? What's wrong with Nomad? Ain't nothing wrong with the word Nomad. I am good, thanks, mate. Good to hear, mate. Right, anyway, okay. Let's assume then that it is CXR. The COM port there. Maybe it's a driver issue. Browse. No. Bear with me. I'm still setting things up. I'm still here, honest. Still here. Alright. I'm going to assume that this is a simple driver problem. The Nomad word. The Nomad. Nomad. Did I mention Nomad? Okay, so I think the drivers are fine. It's COM port 3. So we've got COM port 3. I guess the next thing to check is my soldering. You mad? I know mad. Yeah, this is second PS3. What we're going to try and do is read the SYSCON chip and see what we can get from it. I don't know if it's just a power issue. I don't think it's a power issue. Program error. Starting off. Okay. All right. I'm gonna double check my. Soldering. It is indeed, Mr. RV King's PS3. if I could muster up the ability to speak. So if we come across to Heather and Heather, so I guess the next thing I'm going to do then, I'm going to desolder this diag line. Maybe that's not needed here. I thought it was. Get rid of that. You know, while I'm at it, I'm going to make sure there's no power. Okay. We'll try that again now. So, actually, I think I just... Do you know what I think I did? I think I didn't have it turned on. I think that was my... I think my mistake was I did not have this turned on. Anyway, let's try this again. I don't know if that's doing anything. No. Try again. Off one invalid. Try again. Invalid. Okay. We do have a red light there now, so I'm assuming then. Nomad in Star Trek. I loved Nomad in Star... Why do I not remember Nomad in Star Trek? I should, because I was a Trekkie as well. Well, not a hardcore Trekkie, but... Anyway. Anyways, let's just really quickly... Let's re-add that wire I just removed. So... Move that blue wire out of the way for a second. There we go. Nomad in Star Trek. It makes me think Voyager. I'm thinking Voyager. Alright, there we go. I've re-bridged diag line. So, let's unplug and replug the TTL reader as well. Now we don't get a red light on that anymore. That's interesting, isn't it? The light's gone off on that. Why is that? Did I solder to the wrong point? That's possible, isn't it? Alright, so let's see. The diag line should be right next to an SMD cap, which it is. I've been told to bridge it, which I have. I've got ground connected, I've got RX connected to this bottom one next to what looks like a transistor. Is that right? Yep. And TX. Yep, okay. Can't see it bridged to anything either. Okay. Do we get a red light? I bet we don't. We do not have a red light. Must have a hit and run. Hit and run! No! Hang on, that's still powered on. I'm being stupid. Right. Come on, melt. Melt, 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 melt. There we go. Okay, we got a red light. We got a red light. Just make sure the connections in this thing are right. So we got a red light on this. So let's go back to this program. Off. Failed to communicate to com. Great. Nice. Not responding. Typical Windows. Alright, let's kill that. Let's rerun it. Just double check my COM port. COM port 3, let's refresh my device list. It's still COM port 3. CXR. I'm only assuming it's CXR, I don't actually know. Let's try authing it again. Off. Really doesn't want to off, does it? Off one response invalid. Off one response invalid. Invalid. Oh, this is going great, isn't it? Okay, fine. Back to COM3 again, and let's try SW start. Hey Luke. Welcome. So you also repair obsolete stuff for entertainment purposes. Yeah, it's pretty fun, right? Invalid. This really doesn't want to work. What am I doing wrong? No, maybe it's just my reader. Maybe my reader's just not quite compatible with this thing. Should be. Huh. Okay. When in doubt, kill the power. Let's just check all the connections again. So, we got ground to ground. Check that. That's about continuity mode. Yeah, okay. Seems fine. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I need to swap the TX and the RX. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe TX, RX are the wrong way around. So this bottom one is RX. So let's connect that to TX. And let's connect TX to RX. Incidentally, I hate COM ports. Alright, there we go. So we got a red light. And we'll open the SYSCON reader again and convince it that it wants to be on COM3. Start. Off. Are you doing anything? Oh ho 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 ho. Oh, now we've got some good news. Check it out, we've got auth successful. Right, let's get the error codes. Let's see what this thing's chucking out. So this takes a little while. I have a SCSI HDD replacement for PowerBooks. I'm in the process of building. It's not going well, but I'm going to try and rectify the faults. Oh, okay. You know, I've never worked with SCSI drives. I know SCSI drives are really, really common in the older Apple Macintoshes, actually. There's a chap who streams a lot. Well, not a lot, actually. I wish he streamed more. But he's called Brancus Creations, and he's really big into his retro Apple Macintosh computers, and you know, he does a lot of stuff around SCSI, because he often installs like SCSI to SD devices for customers and so on. But yeah, he's interesting to watch. And those old Macs are pretty... I mean, I wasn't really a Mac guy, but like, they're still pretty cool. You know, there's just something about that era. Where are we at? 13 error codes. Okay, well, while that's doing that, let's get the error code list up. There we go. Maybe if we just move that, like, there. And maybe... There we go. Okay. So now we got our error list. So let's see what we get. Yeah, I completely forgot when you're wiring these up, you wire TX to RX and RX to TX. You kind of swap the wires round. Okay, grabbing 20. Alright, are you going to show me complete? Ah, okay, so let me move things around a bit. So if we just pop that somewhere we can kind of see it all. Move that out of the way. Right. So what we've got here, gentlemen and ladies, is we have... crikes. Did I close it? No. Good. What we have is a list of error codes that's just retrieved. So what we got to do is work out what errors are coming up on this thing. So... yeah, that's my biggest problem with Bruce. Like, yeah, it's because he's on Australia time, and I think he only really streams on weekends as well. Let's get this shared. So, window capture. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Okay, I think you folks can see this. So there we go. So that's our error code list. That's what the SYSCON has chucked out. So we've got these. And this is our list just here. So let's see what we got. We've got 403034. Let's see if that's in the list, shall we? So... let's copy that. Let's see what we can find. Find next. Ah, now that's interesting, isn't it? Pull BGA solder connections for RSX. You will see errors like power sequence error, bit training, RSX, RRAC, RX0, blah blah blah. This actually may be a good news kind of error. So it looks like what we've got going on here is just a pull connection, but let's check some of the other error codes that we've got as well. So we've got 404402. And the 403034, that repeats. So it's 4402, 3034, 44. So it's the same errors repeated over and over. So it looks like we might be able to get away with a reflow on this PlayStation 3 then. So that's the good news. So I think we've diagnosed the fault correctly, rather than just sort of swapping out token capacitors, because apparently that's not the way to do it. And I really want to shout out, actually, I want to shout out Artificial in my last PlayStation 3 video that I uploaded, because Artificial, he pointed me in the direction of how to diagnose these properly, and yeah, it was just a really, really helpful post. I actually pinned it to my other video, and I recommend people watch his video and use that for diagnosing PlayStation 3s himself. So yeah, anyway, let's flip over to the microscope view. So I guess what we need to do then is have a go at reflowing the RSX. Well, Luke, the reason it's good news is because I don't need to go and replace 8 token capacitors with something like 24 of these tantalums that I use, because I use these form factor tantalums. You know, there's quite a lot there, right? They're only 220 microfarads, so you need a few of them, and they're actually usually all over the place in terms of, you know, their specs. So I'll go to that view just for a second, and I'll shove this out of the way. Start unplugging stuff. Hopefully I won't fry myself. There we go. That was pretty cool. I'm glad that worked. I guess the only downside to reflowing the RSX is it's going to take a ton of heat. It's going to take an absolute ton of heat. I should be able to get it to work, but I guess we'll be seeing momentarily. So I guess I want to get these test leads off, so let's do that. I actually didn't buy this for doing PlayStations. I had it on hand to modify my oscilloscope, so that was kind of handy that I had it. So yeah. Let's get this all melted. I mean, even at 450 degrees, that ground plane sops up an awful lot of heat. Well, we'll just pop that over there. Get rid of that. There we go. So we now know the cause of the fault. The cause of the fault, RSX. Actually, Luke, it depends what the problem is with. It depends what the problem is with your PlayStation, right? If it is the RSX that's dead, you can actually replace your RSX with a PlayStation 3 Slim's RSX. You just need the, what's it called? Orbis mod, I think. In fact, I think you might even just need to scrape away solder mask on the opposite side of the board to this RSX chip. And then, if I recall rightly, what you do then is solder in some, or replace some resistors. And you can use the lower process version of the RSX, so rather than having a 90 nanometer chip, you can have a 65 or a 45 nanometer chip, and you can buy RSX chips actually off of AliExpress, so you know, that's worth looking into. You might not have a completely dead unit on your hands, but I guess what we're going to need now is liberal amounts of this good stuff and lots of heat. Now, I don't want to cook things around this, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some tin foil, aluminum foil for our American friends, aluminium foil for anybody from the more British-speaking world, and yeah, shield off the tokens and stuff, because I don't want to melt the housing on the tokens or damage the tokens, because I think the tokens on this system are probably fine, and there's no point melting the heck out of them, right? So I'll be right back. Just give me a moment. So I've got the super useful reflow tools, and I could also use, not that old ring light, but a bit of this good stuff. It's a slim PS3 you're having issues with. I found it in the bin with a yellow light of death. Well, that's interesting. You know, you might want to just do what I just did. Use a diagnostic tool and just see what it comes up with, right? You never know. It might not be the RSX. It might be the tokens, right? You don't know until you try what I just tried. Oh, nuts. I hate doing that. Don't you just hate when you lose the end of tape? Okay, there we go. There we go. In fact, I can probably just shield this just with capsule tape, but no, because aluminium foil helps shield better. I could probably do with getting some high temperature aluminium foil for doing this with, really. Adhesive aluminium foil. So if I put that kind of like this, and then I take a piece of Kapton tape, oh come on, no, I've just done that. That's can't win. I'm telling you, you can't win. You can't win them all. But yeah, Luke, do you know what? You said you had an argument with Artificial. Now, I'd never heard of Artificial before he popped up on my video, and personally, I was just really grateful to learn something new, you know, like, sometimes the instinct is to argue, right? You're like, no, you're wrong, I'm right. And I've been guilty of this a lot of times in my life, where I'll argue with people for basically no good reason. So that's kind of that's a habit. It's a habit I've been trying to break out of, because it's, well, it's a bad habit for starters. And, do you know what? There's just people out there that really genuinely want to help, right? So that's always cool. That's one thing I like about the repair community in general. Like, it's largely like-minded people who mean well, you know. There's not many people out there that, you know, that would stab you in the back or anything in this community, you know. That's the one thing I like about it. I mean, there's a few, but there's not many. How much would a diagnostic board cost? Well, in UK pounds, about £5. It was about £5. It's not specifically a diagnostic board for PlayStations. This, where'd I put it? This thing is, this thing right here. It's called a CP2102, and all it is a USB TTL transistor logic board. And it runs at 3.3 volts. Some of them have a little jumper on that you have to select 3.3 volts with, but they're dirt cheap. They don't cost much. And they're quite handy because virtually all embedded devices that you own will probably have TTL debug points on the motherboards, and that's how a lot of these sort of inquisitive hackers break into systems. You know, for example, I can upgrade my oscillator from 100 megahertz to 200 megahertz because it's simply restricted in the firmware. Hardware-wise, it can do it. And to get access to the system, you can do it through a serial connection to it via a TTL board, and that'll allow you to basically gain root access to it. Now, what I'm going to do with this is definitely not the approved way to reflow a chip. Realistically, you should be using a IR BGA rework station that has an infrared heater underneath and on the top with a controlled temperature profile. I'm going to do my best with this, but it could well be not a fix. But I guess we'll see. Actually, I do kind of want to get one of those. I keep thinking I've no room, but I think actually I do have room for one. I can make room. Yeah, look, you can get them on eBay dirt cheap. Just search USB TTL programmer. You'll find loads. You'll be tripping over them. You know, you can get them on eBay. You can get them on AliExpress. You can get them on Amazon. Doesn't really matter. They're really, really cheap, and they're used in the sort of hobbyist community for robotics and things like that, just for programming devices. Super, super handy. Oh, come on. Now, I don't want this foil moving around while I do this, so I'm going to tape it down in a few other spots. Because realistically, I don't want it budging other components as they get hot, which could potentially move things around the board that I don't want moving. I'll just stick that down. Again, this is a super ghetto way to do this. You probably shouldn't do it this way. Just a heads up, but I'm somewhat confident that this might do the job. Again, should probably reball it, would be the ideal way. There we go. I'm going to do this in stages as well. I'm going to try heating it up to about approximately 200C, and then I'm going to step it up. In fact, I might use my multimeters thermometer to monitor that. That should hopefully be enough flux for this job. Well, Luke, the thing is, there is every chance that overheating it could kill it. There really is that chance, but at this point it's dead anyway. I mean, what's there to lose? Oh, sorry, I forgot to say, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm just grabbing my temperature probe, which oh, there it is. I see it. I'm just knocking everything flying, so let's see. Let's get another piece of Kapton tape. Again, as I say, this is definitely not the best way to do this, but you know, we've got a temperature monitory thingy. No, I want Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Oh, it's on there. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. So, let's zoom out a bit. Let's see if we can get the temperature monitor on there as well. Yeah, I think you guys can see that okay. Let's get a bit more zoom on that. Definitely going to need that. Okay. Nozzle off. I think we'll start off at 200C and then step it up in 50-degree increments. Apply ye oldie Rossmann level of flux. Absolutely. I mean, I've already got a pretty good amount on here. But you know what? Why not? And it's gone! Ow. Let's grab another tube. I'm glad I ordered a whole lot more flux. Right, there we go. Let's Alright, that should do it. Right, actually what I am going to do is I'm going to grab a wooden cutting board as well, just to raise the board up just a little bit off of this silicon mat, because the mat may get so hot that it bubbles up, and if it bubbles up it'll damage all of the components underneath, because it'll, you know, it'll knock them out of position, which is not what we want. So let's get this under the board. Right. Let's have at it. And again, I can say right now, this is definitely not the best way to do this, but I think we'll be okay. Ramp up the airflow. So we're at 117 degrees. Yeah, I know, I wish I'd known it existed before my last video. I think I just got lucky on the last video. In fact, it was probably just bad solder last time for me too. Now what we're seeing here is the reason it's not getting up to that higher temperature is because the board itself is absorbing a lot of heat, so we're keeping it on a kind of slow ramp up so that we don't thermally shock the board. But the temperature will climb up as the board starts to soak up more heat, as we can see. I'm going to ramp the temperature up. You can see we're starting to get somewhere close to 200. And the thing is, this is leaded solder under this, so the melting temperature is relatively high, and the temperature underneath this temperature probe is going to be much cooler than where it is right now, so I'm actually tempted to throw this in the oven for about 2 minutes or so at 200°C. The only problem with doing that is there's plastic on the board and the plastic could melt, so I think I'm not going to do that actually. What I'm going to do though is ramp the temperature up more. No, it's still not ready yet. Still not ready. I'm waiting for the chip to wobble when I tap it. And hopefully it will. So it's still not ready to give. Man, this is stubborn. You see, if I had underboard heating, this would be a significantly easier process, even if it was just a PCB board preheater. My air station is at maximum temperature. Maximum temperature and maximum airflow. You see, it's still not ready to budge. Indeed it is. Indeed, preheating is recommended. That is why I started out on a lower temperature until the board was up to that temperature. Okay. Look how fast that cools down. What are we at? We're at 185, 184 and falling. But there we go. Phew. How warm is that? That's pretty toasty. What I'm thinking of doing is hitting it with a bit more flux, because, you know, why not? This board is going to need a bout in my ultrasonic, I think. Let's try it again. This is like hardcore, like YOLO. We're looking. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting up in the temperature. Don't want to hit this for much longer though. I'm going to stop in a moment. You see, I'm touching the edge of the board, and it's not warm at all. Well, it is. It's warm, but it's not hot. You know, these things are not like Nintendo Switches with a really thin substrate where you can do this easily. Oh shit. 1 second. That's what I get. That is what I get. That is flux smoke, and it's set off the smoke alarm. Right, let's wrap that down now. I think I'm good enough anyway. Right. Let's pull her up. Ooh, look at that. Fluxy. God, it's no wonder that went off. I should have shut the door to this room. The problem is that set it off for everybody in the bloody building. It's part of the reason I want to move place. Right. We'll leave that to cool off anyway. I want to look at it under the scope though, so let's have a look-ski. Just making sure we've not knocked anything out of the way or anything like that. No. No, all good. It's really hard to know if any of this actually reflowed. I don't really think that it did. Now, my wanting a reflow station, like a proper dedicated device to do this, will be a problem. I'll probably set the alarm off again. Great. Okay. How are we looking? If anyone asks, I burnt the toast. Is it possible to relid a PS3? Yeah, absolutely. If you delid the cell processor, for example, you can use a silicon sealant. You just take the old stuff off from around the edges, and then silicon sealant, and away you go. I've sort of been half in mind to do this. It's, yeah. That's what I get for using so much. Good for a laugh, though. Right, so let's clean this chip up a bit. See, ideally, what I'd have is my own workshop. I'd love a workshop. That'd be amazing. By relid, by the way, Luke. Yeah, RW, in my flat, basically, there is a fire sensor in my kitchen, not a smoke sensor. In my hallway is a smoke sensor. And if that smoke sensor goes off, it sets the alarms off for the entire building. Which is ridiculous. You know, if I ever, like, make a piece of toast at night and burn it, it'll wake everyone up. Not even joking. It's ridiculous. I mean, this building doesn't have too many people in it anyway, but that's bar the point. I actually don't like disturbing my neighbours. For obvious reasons, you know. You know, nobody deserves to be woken up late at night or anything. Just as well that happened, you know, before midnight, I guess. Let's switch this over to the camera. Well, the RSX may be good. The chances are the solder balls may have reflowed, but not for the entire chip at once. We've kind of just got to check and find out. Right now, it's kind of impossible to know. I mean, I can avoid the alarm going off next time by ventilating my hallway out so that the windows are all open, keeping the door to this room closed, and carrying on like normal. I pretty much have a fan on pointing out the window all the time anyway, even when I'm not soldering, but it's, you know, I have that because I'm addicted to nicotine and I vape. In a way, I kind of want to disconnect the fire system in my apartment, but that's unwise in case there ever actually is a fire. I wouldn't know. So... the really annoying thing about my fire system actually in this place, there's no actual proper way to turn it off. I have to actually just waft stuff at it. I have to grab like a kitchen towel or something like that and just start wafting the sensor until it stops. It's ridiculous. God, there's flux absolutely everywhere now. So, reflowing will not work in certain circumstances in answer to you, Phil Halo 66. So reflowing is for very specific faults. Reflowing a chip just because it doesn't work is stupid, because it depends what's wrong with the chip. If the problem is the solder balls underneath the chip, and you reflow it, and it reflows those solder balls, what'll happen is, as the solder balls melt, the chip will sort of sink into the solder balls again, they'll solidify, and all the connections will re-establish themselves. In that circumstance, reflowing is appropriate. However, what a lot of people do is they'll take a chip that's dead, you know, it'll be exhibiting really weird behavior, for example, and they'll reflow the chip, and yeah, that'll buy you some time, because within the chip, the silicon, it degrades from power usage, from excess current and stuff like that, and there's tiny little tracks sort of next to each other like that inside the chip, and what happens is when they get hit with heat they can be damaged, and they can move, and they can short together like that when they get hot. And what happens is when you reflow a chip that's dying like that, the expansion from the heat will separate those traces inside the chip, and the chip will work again for some time, but it might only separate them by micrometers, and then it gets hit with a lot of current and heat for a sustained amount of time, and then suddenly bang, they touch again, and then the chip dies again. So the problem in that case is the chip itself. The chip needs to be replaced. Now in this instance, this chip should actually be a good chip. Shouldn't be anything wrong with this chip. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because we ran SYSCON Diagnostics at the start of this stream on this particular chip, and that gave us exactly what was wrong. Now, other people have come before me. I'm relatively new to PlayStation 3s. I've not really got that much experience working specifically on PlayStation 3s. However, some people have come before me, and they've documented what the SYSCON error codes mean and how they usually reflect in reality on what's actually wrong. And in this instance, the error codes flagged up were flagging up as being related to potentially bad solder balls. And now here we are, reflowing. So no, my opinion is reflowing does not fix problems specifically, but it depends on the problem. Some problems it can fix. Some problems it can buy time. You know, if you had a MacBook Pro, say, and the GPU was faulty, going in and reflowing that GPU is not going to fix the problem. All you're doing there is buying some time, and sure, you might have a happy customer for about 3 or 4 days. Then it breaks again. Then they come back to you. You know, I've got this problem. You didn't do a good enough job. Blah blah blah. You know, and that's when reflowing is not appropriate, because that is not a fix. I hope I'm making sense. I'm not the best person at explaining these things. And this is starting to come up. All right, let's get some zoom. Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to look pretty good. Also, sorry neighbours. Sorry. It's what I get for using, like, Lewis Rossman levels of flux. There you go. If you ever set off the alarms in your building when reflowing a chip, you can call it doing a retro. There you go. Right, I'm just going to catch up on the chat and see what folks are saying. Did you get the message about TTL? What, transistor logic? What did you say? Did someone say TTL? Before arcade video game machines had CPUs in them, later in the 70s, they were TTL based, like Computer Space and the arcade version of Pong. Well, yeah, I mean, most chips nowadays are CMOS based, not TTL, but TTL's used quite a lot for communication and so on. So, yeah. I want another one, to be honest. It was a bit noisy, but it would most definitely outlive the Expel Air GX crap man had in a window. Okay. Oh mate, it looks like we've got a fair bit of flux hiding here and here. Again, I don't really want to be leaving flux all over this thing, so yeah, just giving it a good clean. Now you might think it's a bit strange I'm using kitchen towel to get flux up like this, but you know, capillary action. It's exactly the same principle as soldering braid actually. Okay. Window extractor fans. Expel, you know, I've just got a cheapo desktop fan at the window. Looks like I've still got a bit of thermal compound in this area on the board. Let's get that off. Alright, that'll do for cleaning, I think. I think I've done quite enough cleaning on this. We're going to see if it worked in a minute. Well. Let's see. Let's hop over to the camera again. Move that out of the way. I think I'm zoomed in still. Let's fix that. While I'm at it, let's put this foil somewhere else. There we go. Talking about window extractors, eh, fellas? Oh dear. Look at that. Ooh, wow, look at that. Wow. Yeah. The IPA's been dissolving this, been dissolving that pad. Whoa, that's weird. How weird. Ugh. Lovely. It's like tar. Ugh. Look at it. Let's see if we can get this off. Doesn't have to be perfect. I still feel bad about my neighbours. Okay. That is probably now good enough. But what I'm going to do is just... yeah, quite a bit of flux migrated to this side of the board. There's a whole bunch of vias and stuff on this board, so it's just flux is migrated through. How are we looking in chat? The old Nvidia ones with the thread in them. What a nightmare were those. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I mean, obviously I know Nvidia as a graphics company. I'm not sure what you mean by threads. Unless you mean that really grim 1980s movie, which I doubt. Really cool nuclear war not documentary, movie that. It might as well be a documentary. Okay. While I'm at it, I'm going to clean the board. Not the PCB board, but the board. This is actually a piece of sacrificial wood that's meant for my little CNC mill that's in the kitchen that I've never actually used. I bought it so I could make PCBs with it. I've just not got round to trying it yet. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. It's just, you know, I've kind of overfilled my trash thing. Right. I wonder if the PlayStation 3 would immediately shut down if I tried to power it on without the heatsink and everything else being hooked up. I don't know. But getting this flux off is a nightmare. It's a right mare. Right. Okay. It certainly ain't perfect. But as our Russian friends might say, it's good enough. Okay. Question is, do I button it all back up together just to test it? I'm not sure. I don't really want to do that. Where'd the on button go as well? I don't know what I've done with the on button. I know it's around here somewhere. Let's find it. There it is. I found it. So that'd be that. What I'm going to do is plug it in and just see if we get a well, see if we get the same problem basically when I turn it on. So we've got a red light, green light, I think that's a good sign. I don't know if that's a good sign. I think it's a good sign. Hard to know without putting it all back together. I'm going to put it all back together now. See what we get. There we go. And there we go. Right. Yeah, there are a few dust bunnies in this thing, but not too many. It's in reasonably good shape. I say was as if it's not still, but you know. What I do need to do actually is also relid the RSX. That's something I need to do, isn't it? And while I'm at it, I should probably there's a bit of IPA on top of this thing. I don't think flux is the best thermal conductive material. Now, this comment is directed to Mr. R.B. King, but this particular cell processor and the RSX, their thermal paste was actually pretty good. It was in decent shape. Right. So we've got the lid and the thermal paste. That should do the jobby. Reality synthesizer! Ha! Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm not done with the thermal paste, so why did I put that to the side? I'm a fool. Now I'm done with it. Okay. Oh yeah, reapplication of thermal paste. I've been doing it for years with PCs, so you know. Brackets, there they are. So we got that part, and then we this part, which goes that way around, and maybe that way around. Like so. I really do like the PS3 heatsink clamps. These things are pretty nice. That's not right, 1 second. I made a small mistake there. Should have been like that. Hey! Oh, you think it's basically a 7800 GTX? You know what? The 7800 GTX was actually a pretty decent card at the time as well. Yeah, it might be. I think it was NVIDIA, wasn't it? It did say on the chip, right? I wasn't paying that much attention. Because I know these days they're nearly all NVIDIA still. Well, actually, no, tell a lie, no, they're not. They're all AMD now. Because these days you've got the Switch. The Switch is NVIDIA, but the PS4, PS5, and the new Xbox and the new Xbox, new Xbox, they're all rocking AMD. Oopsie. Freezing the heatsink. Interesting heatsink design, this. I kept it quite low profile, but massive at the same time. Mind you, it's nothing compared to the modern ones. OG Xbox, I think, was actually a GeForce 3 Ti 4 hybrid, because the 4 was in development but not finished for the PC version. RW, you're actually right, it was. You are correct on that, it was. I actually have a broken Xbox in the other room, original, that I need to look at some point. Now the way I'm going to test this PS3 is by playing it. And I'm curious to know if there is a disc stuck in the drive. Why are you not lining up there? That not in right? Ah, there we go. Boom. Boom. Big bada boom. Now we're getting somewhere. Pop that there for a second because I need the plastic piece. There we go. While we're at it. Give it a nice quick clean. Where in the heck? Oh, okay. That's where in the heck. Right. Ah, there we go. That's done it. I had one of the 10GB original Xboxes way back when they actually came out. I remember I was actually in Great Yarmouth with a mate of mine on holiday. We were just messing around and I decided I was going to splurge some of a paycheck on an original Xbox, so I did. And we walked into, I think it was a game station in Great Yarmouth. We walked in there and I'm like, right, I want an Xbox. You know, the big old fat things. And they're like, yeah, we've got a couple of game bundles, and I was looking at these game bundles, and I remember they were mostly crap games, but they had Spider-Man, and I did, at the time, quite like Spider-Man, so I'm like, you know what, I'll have Spider-Man then. And I think I might have bought, you know what, actually, did I buy, I might have bought Halo 1 that day as well. I think I got Halo and then got Spider-Man. And then me and my mate were playing Halo and Spider-Man, well, not Spider-Man together because that's single player, but we were playing Halo a good bit. That was a proper good laugh. Am I doing this right? Wow. These are fiddly. Yeah, I actually soldered in a mod chip to my original Xbox. Didn't know how to solder back then either. Yeah, still don't. Wait a minute. Somebody quite right here. There we go. There we go. Amazing. That's the way you do it. Okay. Okay. Why is that not quite right? That's a bit wobbly, isn't it? That's not... Oh, there we go. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Cool. That's definitely got it. Okay. Good. I think we're looking okay now. Right. Get that grounding wire back on. VR getting somewhere. Let's have a look at the chat. Let's see if there's anybody I need to welcome. Yeah, they were the good old days, Glenn. I think I've seen you on the channel before, but if not, welcome, Glenn. Halo was amazing back in the day. Halo was fantastic. Also, the really interesting thing about the original Xbox is it had an extremely active homebrew scene. It was a very, very active homebrew scene. In fact, it was probably the most active homebrew scene of any video game console ever since, like, basically the 80s, back when people were sort of hacking together games on things like their Commodore 64s and what have you. So, yeah. Very interesting time. In fact, actually, a YouTuber I very much like, Modern Vintage Gamer, he was a major contributor back then for homebrew. He did all sorts. I know he did a lot of contributions specifically on N64 emulation on the Xbox, because the Xbox didn't really have anywhere near enough RAM to cope with that game. So he did some sort of memory chunking, I think. Clever stuff. If you haven't checked out Modern Vintage Gamer, highly recommend his channel. He's really good. His production value seems quite high because, you know, he puts a lot of effort into his content. He explains things very well and in a down-to-earth manner. Like, he just seems to know a lot about those old systems as well. Wait a minute, I meant to put the PCB on top first. What am I doing? Herp-a-derp-a-derp. I'm herping and a derping. That's what I'm supposed to do. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. That's what I'm supposed to do. You know, I probably shouldn't be screwing it together yet. I'm getting a bit overconfident here. I do need to get it together enough to test it though, so let's just get this together and let's test it out. I think that's in. I'm actually not sure what the PS3 really needs to have plugged in to go through its boot up cycle. Obviously the hard drive, but I don't know what else it needs. Because of course we do have the Wi-Fi and something else. We've got the Blu-ray drive. So we have that, which I think is the Wi-Fi card, but I'm not sure if it does anything else important. If it's just Wi-Fi, we probably don't need it. Unless the system checks for the card. Which maybe not, I don't know. But we do need this in there. Yeah, he does have a good accent, doesn't he? Australian accent, I think. It's kind of a neutral accent. In fact, his accent's got... It kind of reminds me of a northwestern British accent mixed with Australian. That's what his accent reminds me of. Either way, you know, he seems really good. And you know what? I had a lot of fun out of the homebrew he put together many, many years ago, so I got nothing but respect for the chap. Wait, is there another ribbon cable I'm supposed to be plugging in there? In there? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so that's a Blu-ray drive in. That's the power for the Blu-ray, data for the Blu-ray, I think. We've got this Wi-Fi chip doohickey. We've got something else that needs to plug in there, which is over here, sitting in the top. And what is that? What does that connect to? Oh, it connects to this. Okay. So if I connect the thing to the dooblargen, to the what's-a-majig, to the doohickey, to the finger what's-it. So if we put this finger what's-it in the doohickey, am I doing this right? No, that's not right. That kind of looks right. Is that right? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Okay, that's looking promising. Okay. Right. Good. Okay, so the other thing's just ports. I don't think I need that bit there on top, because that's just like compact flash and stuff like that, and we don't need any of that. What else do we need? What else do we need? No, I think that might be it. I think that might be it. I don't think we need the Wi-Fi in. It shouldn't care. Promising. Let's hook that into the capture card. Let's see if we're getting anything. We didn't have a green light before. Well, hello. Look at that. How do you like that? So I think we're good to get it back together properly then. Let's eject the drive actually, let's see if anything happens. Alrighty. Anything in there? Okay, it's just beeping. I don't think there's a disc in there. Let's try putting one in. Yep, all good. So, Mr. RB King, you said you had a feeling this would be no fix. Wrong! Wrong! Yeah, another one saved. Too right. This is backward compatible as well as a Catch CO3. So it's fully backward compatible PS2, PS1, etc. So did I connect all the data cables? I think I did. Let's just double check that. So we've got that. We've got that. Okay, okay, we're looking pretty good so far. Alright. So we've got a cable for that. What is that data cable for? Oh, it's for the top piece, right. Okay. Right, let's start buttoning it up then. Yep, so that's the diagnostic process. You fire up the SYSCON using a UART TTL adapter, USB adapter. Identify the fault codes, look up the fault codes, see what they mean, and then address them. And that's it. I mean, I do need to get this, I need to get it under load, you know, just to see what happens. Did I plug the fan in? Did I plug the fan in? I'm not sure I plugged the fan Guys, does anybody remember if I plugged the fan in? Because I'm actually kind of thinking I didn't. I'm getting paranoid. I don't think I did. But you know, we've proved the theory. We've got a working PS3 again. It was not the tokens at fault. Admittedly, if it was the tokens at fault, I probably wouldn't have set the fire alarm off, but you know. Small mercies, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's spinning up or not. I can't hear anything, and, well, you know what PS3s are like. You can hear them. So I don't think I plugged the fan in. I think I forgot. I'm certain I forgot to plug the fan in. Which was stupid of me, but, not the end of the world. It just means unbuttoning it again. Boo, boo. I have precisely one PlayStation 4 disc-based game as well, so I'll be trying that out. It came free in my PlayStation. Come on. There we go. I did actually, the PlayStation I bought was pretty scratched up, and I took some, you know, car headlight restoration kits for sorting out cloudy car headlights. I used one of those on the plastic, and it came up like brand new. It was actually pretty cool. I'll be doing that again. I might do it for this one, for Mr. RB King. I did say I might. Right, let's... This is feeling pretty toasty, and yeah, look, see, I didn't plug that in. Now that would have been terrible. That could have been bad if I did not plug that in. But what I'll do as a soak test is I'll probably just run Grand Theft Auto 4 and just leave it running. Just to put the system under some reasonable load. And, yeah. Now, the other thing, Mr. RB King, if you are still watching, these particular PlayStations are exploitable. Oh, gosh. Come on. Why you do this to me? There we go. There we go. Excellent. Do you know what? There's nothing worse, by the way, when you've done a repair on any system. And, you know, you go out of your way to button it up. And I've done this so many times on Nintendo Switches. And you button the system up. And then you realise that actually something doesn't quite work right. And then you have to unbutton the whole thing again. And yeah. Actually, I missed 2 screws on the... I missed 2 screws on the hard drive caddy as well. This is the thing, right? It's so easy to forget stuff. There's 2 screws that go on the hard drive caddy underneath that I forgot to put back on. So I got it. Do the thing with the dooblagen and the doohickey and the thingamawhatsits again. Yeah, I forgot those blargans. So if we get these fuzzwazzles back in, we'll be all good. So I need the other thingamawhatsit to button up the dooblagens with the what's-a jig. I don't have ADHD myself, I'm just forgetful. Or at least if I have ADHD, I'm undiagnosed anyway. I don't think I do though. You know, this probably needs a new CR2032. Not that big a deal. Okay. A third time's a charm. If you want to see an exploding PS3, just look at the last video I uploaded, because the very start of the video, like within 20 or 30 seconds, you get to see it. I think it's actually within about 20 seconds. It's like the very first thing in that video, so you can't miss it. I slowed it down too, using machine learning, so you get to see it slowed down. Oh, ready yet? Come on. There we go. There we go. That's what we like to see. But yeah, if you want to see an exploding PS3, it's the second from well, my last video. Yeah, my last video before this stream. It made for super happy fun times. Right, okay, so I think I need to start putting screws back. Ah. Okay. Why can I never remember what goes where? 1, 2... Okay, they're not long screws. Wait, no, it's not these ones. Crikey. Crikey. Oh, it is those type. Okay. Alright. You are the security bit. I don't want you yet. not feel right. Okay, there we go. You are a smaller one, aren't you? Wo bist du? I'm not the fastest at putting things back together, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, I was really happy with how that other PlayStation 3 turned out, actually. I mean, it took a lot of work. So I was really pleased. Yeah, it was a fun video to put together. That the problem was I didn't quite, because I was recording it on and off, and I kind of missed bits of footage. So like, you know, I kind of cobbled it together from just what I sort of had available footage-wise. So it wasn't the best video I've ever done, because I kind of didn't go in with the intention of really making a video from it. But I think it turned out okay. Alright, this is starting to look okay now. Not the fastest at doing a lot of things. Yeah, RW, you're basically right. Like, my very first PlayStation I worked on, obviously, I don't want to work on a customer's PlayStation if I've not worked on one before, and let's be honest, like, although I will work on people's machinery that I've not worked on before, it really depends what it is. I'd actually be happy to work on a PlayStation 4 I've never worked on. Or, even a PS5. But, yeah, it depends. Right, so I've got that screw in, got that screw in, got that screw in. That one's marked, 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 marked. Marked, excuse me. Got a bit of gas. Okay. So far, so good. Next up, power supply, Blu-ray drive, Wi-Fi module. Where is the Wi-Fi module? Is that it? No, that's the thingy. That's the Dublagen. I swear I'd lose my face if it wasn't attached to my head. I really would. Right, there we go. So let's get the power supply on to begin with at least. So. Actually, thinking about it, I'm surprised if PlayStation 3 would even boot up without detecting a fan. That's interesting. So the PlayStation 3, if it had a fan failure, would just boot up. Interesting. And slightly scary. Yeah, the more you know, I guess. Wrong screw type. I'm going to come back to the chat in a moment, guys, and see what's... Well, guys and girls, and see what's going on. I need to get out of the habit of saying guys, really. I should just say folks. Am I missing a screw? Yes, I am. No, that's the security bit screw. Oh, bobbins. Nope. Yes. Nope. What screw goes in there then? One of them, because that's gonna... It looks like a stubby screw's meant to go through. Let's... I don't want to pierce this earthing cable. I mean, it wouldn't be that big an issue because, well, it's an earthing cable, it's just earthed, you know, but whatever. Right, excellent, I think. Alright. Really is a beefcake. PS3. Let's have a look at chat. Let's see what folks are saying. Right. I'm not the first to do a lot of things. Hook and buck. PS3 is a very particular thing, to be fair. Other consoles kind of are, but yeah. Interestingly, Glenn, The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3 was one of the only games that ever came close to actually pushing the PS3 hardware. Yeah, the reason your PC knows that it's mounted is because it's connected by PWM and there's a sense wire. So it will know the fan's connected, and yeah, realistically the temperature shutdown should kick in, but you know how these things are. Now, I do need to find that little Wi-Fi module, which I know is somewhere within my vicinity. Now, I usually move things to the left. I do remember Micromage Repair always telling me, look left. So I'm looking left. I think it was Micro. Can't remember. Okay, it's not over there. Nope. 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 I do have that to fix as well. Almighty Thor, why have you forsaken me? Aha! This is what I was after. Pretty sure I used the wrong screws in the wrong places. There we go. Oh no, that was a longer one. You know, I miss the days of games consoles just having all screws that are the same size. Oh, actually, RW, I meant to mention to you. I took a look at those Mega Drives. You remember there was a stream I did where it was a choice between Mega Drive or SNES? Well, I took a look at them, and well, let's just say one of them I completely ruined. I mean, it was dead anyway. Every single data line of every single processor was held high at 5 volts, so, you know, nothing was going on there. I think a resistor had failed open or something somewhere. I don't know, but obviously something wasn't good there. Long story short, I did something stupid with that. I basically exploded it in the oven. But anyway, the other one I got working, and it was an interesting Mega Drive. Well, I've still got it, but yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something ain't quite right here. Oof. Oof. Okay. Now then. This goes here. You know what's funny though? That the one I did get working, actually thinking about it, I'm not sure what VA revision it was, because it didn't say on the board. I couldn't actually find a VA revision. I mean, normally Sega are you know, pretty good with that kind of thing. Oh no, maybe I wasn't looking hard enough. I don't know. Wait, that ain't right. That ain't right. What am I doing? What's bending? Why is that bending? God, I like jigsaw puzzles. Ah, there we go. There we go. That's what I want. That is what I want. Bloody nightmare to get back together, these. There we are. No, that ain't right. Is that not right? Yeah, that felt right. Okay. I feel like I should just play the Tetris music, you know. There we go. Finally. Yeah, it always feels like a serious jigsaw with these PS3s. I mean, the last one I did, it took me ages to get it back together for the same reasons, you know, like they're a bit silly. Alright, there we go. You know, it's funny, this antenna looks a little bit corroded. Probably won't make that much of a difference. Blu-ray data line in. Let's get that down. And let's flip this up. Yes, also, I have many new retro consoles to do. Correction, PS5 is made out of screws. Ah, yeah, I forget. Yeah, I saw Phil taking one of those apart. And it was just screw after screw after screw after screw after endless screw, like. Pretty sure Phil got screwed by it. Alright. Wait. That goes there. Sorry, I'm working out where screws go. So that goes there. There's a screw hole there. Ah! Bashing myself in the camera. And then there's a screw hole somewhere. think. New. Oh, these poor old PS3s were not ever meant to be serviced. That much is clear. Oh, and I've still forgotten to connect something. Hang about. Forgotten the on mechanism. Kinda need that. Right, there we are. And then we need these little ones, I think. Give me some Tetris music, guys. Oh, W, why don't you hum along to Tetris, you know. Maybe I'll get a line to pop. Shouldn't have said that, because now the PlayStation will probably pop. Just boom. Tell you what, the Xbox One, the original Xbox One Fat, very easy to damage the ribbon cable on it if you're not careful. When I first took one of those apart, I was like, hang on a minute, there's a ribbon cable here, that's not good. Could have resulted in super happy sad times. Alright. Is that together? Clip together at the front. Yeah, oh, that went together quite nicely. Nearly there. You never know, it might even work better with cooling active. Because PlayStation's ain't known for being cool. Maybe cool in the kind of, whoa, that's awesome way, but not in the, ooh, that's a bit hot. Oh, thanks for subscribing, Whacker. PS3 looks like a microwave. I need somebody to give me some background music, and I'm thinking Tetris, you know. That's why I'm asking you, just hum Tetris so I got something to work to, you know. Just ignore me, I'm going mental. I say going mental like I didn't go mental years ago. Bloody hell, it's warm this evening. Okay, so I'm missing 2 screws there. Where are those? That's a question, isn't it? Oh, there's one. And that's a security bit screw. So where's the other? Are you the other? Yeah, you look like it. Do you know what? I think that's the one thing that keeps me away from wanting to repair a PS5. If you've got to take 60 screws out to get one apart, that's a significant portion of time. Okay, then we want to pop this in, which I think goes in this orientation right here. And then what we want is this bad boy. It's in a bit of a state, this one. You see that? Yeah, not so good. Shame. Anyway. Oh, I have forgotten something. The jigsaw continues. Wait, no, that goes on after. Sorry, never mind. No, that was right. Crikey! Oi. Okay. This thing is a beast. Actually, while we've got it this way up, let's put this back in. Boom. Now I need the right driver bit. So I need one of these funky star bits for this one. Is that right? Oh, that's good enough. Okay. And then, of course, we wouldn't want to void the warranty on this PlayStation, right, people? So, to avoid voiding the warranty, what we'll do is we'll place this magic sticker back here, and the warranty will be forever preserved. So you see that? This PS3 has, you know, warranty restored. Notice how it doesn't say void? Therefore, because it doesn't say void, this must still have a warranty. But there we go. I'm going to go grab GTA 4 now, and I'm going to plug this thing in while I'm at it. I'm also going to grab a working control pad. You know what, I never did understand how people break HDMI ports on consoles. I mean, the amount of videos I've seen of a repair techs, and all they do is replace HDMI ports all day long, every day. Nintendo Switch USB port. That I can kind of understand. Has a lot of, usage, right? I don't know what that was, but whatever. But a console, how do you break an HDMI port? I just don't get it. So we've got a pad. I need a USB cable though. Actually, I need a game as well, and I'm pretty sure that's still in the PlayStation. The USB ports are down here, aren't they? There they are, yeah. Back in a second. Wait, that's a SYSCON pass. What? What are you off then? Oh. Right. Watch it now, there are kids watching. Yeah, fair point. Ah, that's interesting, isn't it? I'm not getting any video. Might help if I turn it on. Hey! Oh, Glenn, there is a way to restore plastic covers. There's absolutely a way to restore plastic covers. I'll show you what it is. What you need, Glenn, is one of these kits. And what you do, to show you my other cover from my other stream and my other video. I'm not sure if you see it in the other video. You might not see it that much in the stream either, but it was in pretty much this state. Now you can see how bad this is. This is after being restored. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. You can see me as well. With my NASA shirt. But yeah, what you do is you sand it with 2,000 grit, 3,000, 5,000 grit wet sanding to get down all the major scratches. You end up with it looking very cloudy, and then you just polish it. It takes about an hour. There we go, check it out. Oh hey, check it out. This has got a lot of stuff on it. Let's see. Sniper Elite. Wow. Can I run any of this? Is this a custom firmware? Who wants to be a millionaire? Yeah, it does work, El Grey. Hello, welcome. So, let's try... Actually, this is one of my favourite games. Oh. Oh, okay. Never mind. What about... Last played 2011. Wow. Did this machine last work in 2011? Is that what this is telling me? (2012). Or maybe most recent's toward the top then. 2012. Okay. I'm going to turn the console down just a little bit. Well, the likely failure on this was cracked solder joints underneath the RSX, in which case it was probably dropped. It was probably stored, dropped, and then, you know, here we are, right? What's wrong? You're all saying, uh-oh, I can't hear anything, bear in mind. Is there a problem? Might not be one of the sound modes. That might be my capture card. It's been having issues. Yeah, I could try that. Hang on. I can't hear what you can hear, you see. Yeah, that doesn't look right. No, not... Okay. I wonder if it's trying to output in 5.1 surround sound. Let's try now. It might be faint because I turned it down a bit. I saw that it was significantly loud. Thanks for subscribing, R4M. Welcome to the channel. Enjoy your stay. Now let me know how this sounds. Because bear in mind, I can't hear what you can hear, because this is coming entirely through my capture card. I have no playback for it.
Something big, that's for sure.
Does it still sound weird?
Tore everything apart. Then the dust and the fumes.
Okay, I'm assuming that's good. Right, sweet. So it's just a sound setting. That's all good then. I've no idea what I'm playing. Ah, there's a moth in here. Get away. I'm in moth. Excellent. Thank you, Earl Grey. Thank you. I don't know if this game's any good. I want to let it run just a little bit, just to make sure we don't get anything strange happening. But, you know, we're not getting any artifacting or anything. There is a fan running. The fan is running. I can feel air, so that's good. You know, the video quality looks pretty decent as well. I kind of want to hear it.
Flashlight, couple batteries, pistol. Never even fired a gun before. Anyway, aren't any bullets in it, so.
Right, I might try this out real quick with a PS1 game as well. Don't think I actually have any PS2 games, sadly.
4 hours to fly out east. Better walk home.
I'm getting bored of it. Come on. Okay, graphically looks okay considering its age.
I wonder if our apartment is still there.
I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing.
Abington traffic. Oh, I missed it.
Cheese it. Okay, I guess you can't jump up there. Where do you want me to go, game? On this truck? No. Okay, how about here? No. Oh, I can climb. Right. Yeah, I knew that, honest. Yeah, you know, it does look like it's black and white. I think that's intentional. There is colour there. If you look, there is colour. There's blue down there. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely it's a deliberate look for sure. I don't think I've heard of this game before. Actually, it looks okay. Right. Well, I mean, I kind of like the whole post-apocalyptic thing it's got going on anyway. Oh, come on. Weird controls. I mean, it's not died yet, so it seems to be doing okay, right?
Looks like I'll have to climb over those arch supports.
Oh, this is... I think it's I Am Alive, RW. I think that's what it was. It's just some random demo that was already on the PlayStation. Let's back out anyway. I mean, we seem good so far. I think this PlayStation's going to need a soak test, but... I am going to check the backward compatibility of it super fast. And to do that, I'm going to fire up a Trashware game. If it'll let me eject. Come on, eject. Eject. Eject, eject. Why's the screen gone black? Eject. There we go. An error occurred during the start operation. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Back. Not literally a heat soak. I really mean just stress test. You know, just let it run with some graphics, some sort of game running that's relatively demanding, and just leave it. And then check it the next day just to see if it's holding up. In a nutshell. Okay, so it's working with PS1 games. I'm pretty sure it does PS1 through emulation and PS2 through the Emotion Engine chip that it's got on the board. But cool. I mean, I'm not going to turn this into a Let's Play. I'm gonna stop soon. Check out the amazing graphics of many years ago. Yeah, no, do you know what? I played the very original Tomb Raider game back on the Sega Saturn. I used to play that for many hours with a friend of mine. He'd often come over to my house on a Sunday, and I'd often go over to his as well, and we'd just play, we'd play games together. Ah, good times. Looks like Cyberpunk. What are you on about? This is way better than Cyberpunk. This has got at least 6,000 more polygons than Cyberpunk, and there's probably not even 6,000 polygons on screen right now. These cutscenes. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, you know, obviously it works. So the only things I've got left to do to this are this pad. I'm actually going to check that this pad works. Let's do that. It says fully working. I'll be the judge of that, my son. Okay, my other one's still synchronized. I think I need to turn it off. The controller's off. Well, it works. Yeah, it does work. Okay. It just needs its analog stick changing. That's all this one needs. Great. Oh, can't complain at that, can I? Whoops, just switched to the microscope. You can't see anything through that right now. Okay. But there we have it. I think once again we have a successful repair. I may have set my smoke alarm off, but you know, it's just part of the fun. Part of the fun. So, I'm going to call it there. And as always, it's been good having you all along. I'll give you guys a second to, you know, say your goodbyes and so on to each other, and then I'll close the stream down. And just so you're aware, if any of you are interested, I do have a small Discord channel. There's not many of us on there at the minute, but you know, feel free to join if you want to. It's all in the description. But yeah, anyway. Great having you all. And as always, das vidania.